All right, everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of the Millennial Button Mashers podcast. We have a special episode today because we have this weekend some college friends together up in Michigan City. And we're just trying to hang out this weekend and just reconnect and live out the old days. We actually did this around the fire last night too, was just talk about games we appreciated over the years and games we got to play during our collegiate careers. And I think one thing that makes us unique about our group specifically is I feel like gaming holds us together. Like we will regularly jump on Xbox, we'll play Fortnite, we'll try to just stay connected that way. And I've always appreciated more specifically like Al and Zach and Richard, Neil and I kind of just ride along for the, the coattails of these guys, but they've done a great job of reconnecting us and having us stay connected all of these years. So really excited for this episode. The way that we're going to run this episode specifically is I have a couple questions for these guys. One specifically will be the intro question we'll lead off with, which is, what is the game that got you into gaming? And I'm actually going to pick on you, Richard, first, because I feel like between you and I going to midnight releases for like GTA 5 and others, like there's another one that we went to too. I can't remember what it was.
We did so many back in college. We'd do that.
Back in the GameStop days.
Sitting in that parking lot just waiting for them to open.
Yeah.
So we're like, no, I'm not waiting inside. I'll wait out here. I'm not going to wait in the true line, but we'll at least be here and be ready to go in for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll pass it over to you. What is the game that got you into gaming first, Richard?
The first game that I can ever remember truly playing all the time was on the PC back in the day. I was probably, I'd say 8, 9 in that range, was Stronghold Crusaders, which is like a kind of like a Sims strategy game. It was one of the best games back then. I'd spent hours and hours and hours just playing that continuously. But
on PC.
On PC.
Yeah.
But that was also way before, like, there was no multiplayer to it too. So you're just playing against the computers all the time, stuff like that. Neil always, I remember him coming over and wanting to play on it too, because back then, heck, people didn't have PCs back. Like every house didn't have a game or a PC that could run games like that. So that's probably my one game that I remember the most that got me into. I remember going to like your guys or Alex and Neil's house and like playing on the Super Nintendo. Your dad had one, I think.
Super Mario Bros. Dude, that's a great game.
Yeah, like that was one of the other first times I remember experiencing gaming too.
That Zelda, we used to play those a lot.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the first true memories of me playing video games. Besides your old arcade games, like we actually went to an arcade and played.
One of my favorite memories was when we figured out how to put Stronghold on a USB drive, and I could play it on my computer at home. That was sweet, just so sweet.
Yeah, because that ran on like Windows 98 or something. Like it might have been before 98 even, I want to say.
I was going to ask, do you remember what year that was when you guys were really into it? Early 2000s?
Were we still at the old house?
Yeah. I want to say it was probably six or seven, really.
Yeah, so that'd be
2003, 4.
2002, 2004 in that range.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Neil, since you've already spoke, what's your game?
I remember the first console exposure was my dad's NES, which I've never seen my mom or dad play, but they claim they played it before kids. I don't know what age I was when I was first exposed, but they had Super Mario, Tetris. Looking back, stupidly never played the Zelda like with any intent or understanding of what it was. And then I was just thinking about this game the other day. It's called Clue Clue Land. Do you remember that one?
No.
It was
No
like
PC game?
Well, it was like kind of like the dot game. And you had to run this, I don't even know what the character was, through the dots, and you'd either get coins or it'd set up a rubber band. It's Pac-Man-ish too.
Clue Land? Is that what it's
Clue
called?
Land, yeah.
Were we playing on?
On the NES.
I see it, yeah.
Yeah, your dad probably still has that.
Released in 1984.
Yeah.
Wow.
1984.
Yeah, and I think it had golf on there too. So I've never been like play a game all the way through kind of guy. So like my first exposure was just like, try this game. And then, Mario was the one we came back to the most probably. But it reset every time you played it. So, you get to the first battle, the castle die. And next time you start over. Yeah, but Yeah, I think it was hard to make it through the first
couple levels.
3 levels of that game. Yeah.
I remember back in the day too, when we'd have memory cards specifically, and like they'd only have a certain amount of memory on them. So like I've told this story on the podcast before, but when I got exposed to gaming, it was Donkey Kong 64 was the one that I first remember like actually, liking it and finding like joy in gaming. I remember we as siblings would always have saves for each other. And I think I took like my sister Lindsay's save and I deleted it so that I could save mine. She was like, she was like 50% through the game. She was pissed off, but still a fond memory for me. But
I did that too.
Yeah, but great days. Al, I'll pass it to you. What's the game that got you gaming?
Dude, I think the first console I ever had was a Nintendo 64. I got it in like the first grade. So that would have been like 99 or so. But like the one that I remember playing the most, which kind of set it up for future games, is James Bond GoldenEye.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
One of the best back then.
And the sound, the theme song, we've talked about this last night around the fire, like the theme song to old video games, James Bond, banger.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Banger. But you just run around there. And I mean, if you got Odd Job, you just run around and karate chop people. You were at a much lower level. Cheat code. But that's that game specifically is the one that I remember playing the most, and
GoldenEye specifically
having the most fun.
Now, wasn't that one of the first like true multiplayer games? Like even on the same console, like most other games didn't have a lot of multiplayer where you could face each other.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And it was the first person shooter like I ever played. And then you had the dark blue one on 64.
Yeah, Nightfire.
Yeah.
I love Nightfire, but that was PlayStation 2.
Yeah, Nightfire's a great game.
Well, what was the blue Nintendo?
No, there was
a blue Nintendo one.
Sastuna.
Because I just remember the one of the levels there was like you were at like a ski resort.
I think you're still thinking of.
No,
you're thinking of Nightfire. Well, because that's one of the first levels.
No, the
that
world's not enough.
I was gonna say the world's not enough. I was thinking
Is that which one? Is that?
That's the blue one. That's the 64.
It's 64.
Yeah, we played
that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Pierce Brosnan.
But I want to say that was
That's
released on
well.
PS1 too at the same time. Like it was the end of 64, beginning of PlayStation. That series or something like that.
One came out.
Or it released on something else too at the same time. So I remember playing on something else.
PlayStation 1 came out in 94, so it's possible it overlapped. But to your point, Neil, I actually did address this question because 007 First Light came out this year, which I highly recommend if you guys like cinematic games like that. What are you playing on? PlayStation 5. That was what I played it on. I mean, it's on Xbox as well, I think. But it's the creators of the modern day Hitman series. So they really have the good chops. It's IO Interactive. But they do a great job. But the question I asked in the past was, what's your James Bond? And mine was Pierce Brosnan. Like, that's who we grew up with. But would you guys say the same?
Whoever was on Nightfire. That was my favorite game. Favorite PlayStation 2 game, I'd say.
When I think James Bond, the image of Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah.
whatever his name is, pops in my head. But I like the Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I was saying Daniel Craig.
I like
He did a great job.
better, but like when James Bond said it's Pierce's face that pops.
Yeah, totally.
Like, because Sean Connery was the second one or the first one?
I don't even
He was
remember.
the first one.
Because like I still see him as it, but like I've never really watched his James Bond movies.
I've never watched one all the way through. I watched like a small clip one time, and they weren't great, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it was also way back in the day that those were made. But the Daniel Craig ones are phenomenal movies.
And there was quite a few. I guess Sean Connery was the first one in 1962 based off a quick Google search. So then Pierce Brosnan started in 95, ended in 2002. And then Daniel Craig picked it up from there to 2021. So I'm sure they'll have another.
So Brosnan was only 7 years he was running for?
I guess so.
Felt like longer than that.
First film for him was GoldenEye. The last one was Die Another Day, 2002.
So I love those I could give like an Avengers or a Harry Potter effort to watch. I've never watched all of it, but
Yeah.
talking about it, I feel like give it a shot.
I think I watched all the Daniel Craig series part of it, but I don't know if I watched the earlier ones all the way. Because we were also young enough that our parents were kind of like, I don't know if this movie's appropriate for you at the time.
Yeah. Well, weren't the older James Bond series like they were like inappropriate, like they were like satire almost, like spy movies, weren't they?
I don't know for sure, to be honest.
Which is hilarious because Austin Powers and then smooth to smooth.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so impressive.
All right, while I'm pulling this up, Zach, what was your foray into gaming? You're the last one here.
I didn't have a console until I was like a teenager, but I had a Game Boy Color. So
Nice.
Pokemon Red. My brother and I, Tyler, my middle brother, we're like 15 months apart. So we grew up playing Pokemon and we each pick our color. I always got to pick first, like the cooler ones. But it was Pokemon Red. I just remember starting that game. It was like 7. And I didn't know how to get out of the house. I thought like, there's something in there I have to do. Just walk right down through the carpet to go outside, but I didn't know that. So in later games like Gen 3, I think in Ruby, they introduced running shoes, which was huge.
Oh yeah.
And they actually, like, when you got to the edge of a room, it showed you an arrow to walk forward. That would have been so massive for me, like in Pokemon Red. But my intro to consoles, our babysitter used to have they had a PS1 and they had like an older kid, Twisted Metal 3.
Oh man.
I don't know that.
Do you remember how old you were when you played that? Because I was terrified of Twisted Metal.
So I remember it was when I lived in Fort Wayne. So I would have been 2nd grade or younger, probably 1st or 2nd grade. Twisted Metal is like Mad Max. It's like an arena vehicle, like all the vehicles have guns and you just blow each other up. And then there's like boss levels. I don't think I was like exceptionally good at it, but I was too young to understand level progression. I was like, I just want to play and like blow stuff up. But yeah, that was like, whenever I was over there, I'd always try to sneak into the basement and just play video games. And because I didn't have a console forever, if I ever went to a friend's house, I would stay up all night playing their consoles. I had a buddy down the street, he had a Nintendo, and I'd play like Spider-Man games. Yeah. I just desperately wanted one, but was never allowed to have one until I could like buy it myself. So my first console was PS2, but Game Boy like got me through a lot. Little light in the bed.
I was about to say that.
Game Boy Advance SP went with the light in the screen, game changer. That was a great Game Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's a funny thing looking back on our gaming history. Like we had Game Boy Color, we had the Game Boy before that too, which I have an old Game Boy still to this day, but I never launched it. I think it was my sister's and I just have it for a collector's item now. But you had the plug-in light, you had the magnifying glass for the SP. Yeah, exactly. So good times.
I miss the old clear cases that they used to do back in the day.
Yeah,
And I hear they're bringing that back for like the new Xbox. They're bringing back the clear case.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
They used to have like a purple one that you could see through, and I thought it was those are swaggy.
Because like the 64s did that. Everything did that for GameCubes. Everybody did that for a while. I guess it was mostly Nintendo that did it.
Yeah,
So
I had the green Nintendo 64, which was awesome. I think my sister still has it.
Did PlayStation ever do like a see-through or anything case?
I think it is. I have the silver PS2. I think it's dope.
My PS2 was one of the slim ones, and like I guess I didn't understand how it all worked. If you just held the power button, it went into like standby mode, and that was technically off, I guess. And so I used to just unplug it at the back. Well, I did that so much, dude, that like it wore out. Like, so you just be playing and then like the cord would just move a little bit. So it would just turn off.
Unplug it from the back and turn it off.
Yeah.
Classic,
dude.
It's rough. It's like what Zach saying, like Pokemon games. I'm pretty sure Pokemon, like on that Game Boy, was like the first game that actually played from start to finish, like finished a whole game before. Like before that, you just play as a kid. Yeah. You'd play the game just to do certain things. You'd be like, I don't really care about the storyline here.
Yeah, right.
But like Pokemon was probably one of the first ones where you played start to finish, went all the way through, did all the gym bosses and everything.
I agree.
It's a fun game.
Very fun game. Yeah, so I think that's a good transition to maybe one game you guys wish everyone played, like something that you would, if you had like a brand new gamer and you're like, what's one game you would recommend, regardless of the era that it came out in, what would it be? So Al, I'm actually going to pass it to you on this one.
Yeah, my first one was GoldenEye that I like really liked and got into, but I think that translates over to this one where like if there's one game that I could have anybody play, it'd be Halo 3. Dude, I got that in like the 8th grade, and with like years of playing online with my friends all night long on the weekends, Fridays, Saturday nights, into the early mornings of the next day. The first person shooter,
No
but
microtransactions.
yeah, and like it was purely like online too. And one of the things that I really liked about that, like Halo 3 specifically, is you would get online, like if we were all in a party and like it was laggy, it would show like everybody's internet connection status.
So
like
you could be like, Neil, what are you doing?
yeah, like if Neil had bad internet, I'm like, oh god, Neil, come on. And I used to have my Xbox moved all over the house. Like I was in the basement, I was in the living room, I had it in my room, but I had 100-foot Ethernet cord running from the computer, like there in the entryway of my parents' house, just wherever it was. And like if I was going across the hallway or if I was going up the stairs, I'd throw a rug over it. My parents did not like that at all. But like Halo 3, again, like you're in middle school, like going into high school, it's just a nostalgic time. And it's like the first game too that like I got to play online with people. And again, dude, like online was so new back then too. There was like the Wild West. There were no rules. And it was the first, like it was, I don't know. It was a great game. You could get on there, like build your own maps too. Like that was super cool. And then we'd get on there and like build our own maps, then we're going to have like mongoose races. Like you just really go on there and mess around, not like truly do anything. But then, you get on there and play SWAT, you're headshots only, or they would have like specific things like Rat Race where you were
Griff Ball.
Yeah, Griff Ball. That was another great one.
On the thing,
True memories being made playing that game.
and you could like some certain people like would make maps and they would introduce those into game modes later. Like you could enter it in and be like, hey, I made this map put these rules on, and you could put it in and they'd actually implement it to the rest of the whole community, which was awesome.
Yeah. And we do like LAN parties.
Yeah.
Where like you would go and you'd be in one room, another group would be in another room. You're just playing against each other, but like on separate TVs. Those were always super cool.
Yeah.
Remember bringing those big old TVs around everybody's house, like weigh 100 pounds. It seemed like to bring that TV in. You're like, okay, this is my TV, guys. You go over that car. Don't screen peek.
Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that I think Halo distinctly brought was, at least I can't remember another campaign that would allow you to actually play online with other people. Because I remember when we were in college, we played Halo 4. And this was when they moved from Bungie to 343 or whatever. But we played the campaign on like, what's it called? Legendary mode. Yeah, together. And we were all in the same house, but we were technically all online playing it. So it was pretty cool.
Me and Al started that up a while ago. We didn't get all the way through. We started like, we were going to go all the way from the first one all the way up.
Yeah.
We got halfway through the first one, and life happened. We got too busy.
Yeah.
It was definitely, they remastered it. So it was kind of cool to see the new graphics on some of those older maps.
The Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
It was fun to play.
They're coming out with Halo 1 again, remastered.
Yeah.
Campaign Evolved, I think is what it's called. But they're supposed to be adding new content to Halo 1 too. So I think that comes out this month, July, something.
Sometime soon here.
Yeah. So very, very cool. Neil, you want to take this one? What's one game that you feel like everybody should play as a gamer?
I have no notes to Alex's answer. That's probably my favorite game of all time. That's one that I actually committed to playing through.
Start to finish.
We had friends. We go on Friday nights to eat pizza, and I think they had Halo 1 and Halo 2. I think I had some soft exposure to those, but going out to Richard's house in like 8th grade, probably even before like Alex and I had Xboxes to play at our own house, we'd go out there and he got Halo 3 when it came out. And it's just, I don't know. We're already best friends, but like, I feel like I just like took us a next step further. And then like being able to be in your own house with your friends within 6 months of it coming out.
All right.
It's just, yeah, I wish everyone could
Get
an idea of like what that felt like to like truly be connected with your best friends.
I'm pretty sure as we were on the DC trip for our 8th grade DC trip, my dad bought it.
Yeah.
And he's like, texted me on my phone, or my little flip phone back there. He's like, I got the game. I waited in line for like 4 hours to get it.
Wow.
And then we got home and we played after the DC trip.
Shout out to Keith.
Yeah.
People were
Lots of
just
shouts
out to Keith over here.
Yeah.
I think we were just the perfect age at that time too.
Yeah.
Like when it was all happening, online gaming, Halo 3. Yeah. Like just in general, it was just the perfect time.
First person shooters are like popping off.
Yeah.
And it was a first person shooter, but it wasn't like a gory first person shooter either. Like it was,
It was no blood.
yeah, there was ones that our parents can see us playing. Like you shoot people, but it's not like a Call of Duty where you can see somebody blood get smacked across the wall or something like that.
Yeah. When you would shoot, just kind of
Yeah.
vibrate a little bit.
Yeah, they just disappear and then you're done for.
Yeah. I mean, the thing had run too. We started in 8th grade and we played until college.
I would say
That's-
probably
yeah,
in college.
sure.
We might have played a little bit
Like-
in college still.
And I remember that they had the world map with all the lights where everyone was. Yeah. I don't feel like it really ever started losing traction until, after high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was probably a contender for game of our generation.
For sure. Zach, what about you?
Dude, don't hate me. I've never played it.
Halo?
Yeah, Halo 3.
At all?
No,
Or-
I was like late to your guys' party, so I moved in with y'all after Richard moved out. So we were like firmly into Grand Theft Auto 5 by that point. I remember before I lived with you, we would like, I don't think I had a microphone, so we would like call each other on the phone, set on my lap, try doing a heist.
So when you lived on New York,
yeah.
we walk back from class and you'd break off to go to New York when we finished walking.
Yeah, and then we'd immediately hop on Xbox. We're like, all right, let's hit this heist. I struggle with this question, but I liked how you framed it. Like, if a person's just getting into gaming, what would you recommend? It's another first-person shooter. It's like Black Ops or Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Like before they bastardized Call of Duty and what it is today with like Sydney Sweeney skins and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Those games, like there was no crazy movement. It was just gunfights, peeking corners. Like it was just so pure.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think it was in high school. It came out in 2010. I graduated in 2011. So I was in high school. We finally, like our parents saw that they weren't video games weren't going to make us like evil humans. So they bought us a PlayStation 3 for Christmas. And we got like that Black Ops. And man, online gaming, like you guys have been talking about, Wild West, dude. People were so brutal to each other.
Yeah.
They were so brutal. But it's cool to see Black Ops 2 having a moment right now where I think it's really spiking. Like people are playing it again. I don't know if they remastered it or people are just
I think
re-downloading
they
it.
ported it to PC,
Okay.
so that's why there's like a revamp.
Yeah, man. And it's just fun to watch because you see the clips and it's like, dude, so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like, it's just fun to watch without the insanity, the visual insanity of like the slide canceling and the wall jumping and all that shit. It's like, dude, those games, like if you could just go back and play Call of Duty before it turned into what it is now, it used to be so good. And I just like every year hold on to hope that they're not going to do it again. And then they just let me down $70 at a time. It makes me so mad, but I'm probably going to buy the next tweet. So it's always worth checking out. I always have fun, even like in its current state. I love the Call of Duty franchise, but if you could just take me back to 2010, if you see me there, I'd be happy.
I would agree. Yeah. I think, go ahead, Richard.
I also miss like in those early days of those like Call of Duties is like the trash talk you'd have in a game. Like now you play an online game like multiplayer, like and they do Call of Duties, and nobody talks to anybody.
Dude,
Well, you get reported.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
you
reported
and
and
you
banned.
get banned for like
Yeah.
a short period of time.
Because like it was all in good fun back then. You just like jest somebody back and forth, like that, and then it'd be at the end of the next game. They kick your butt, you kick their butt, back and forth. You just keep on going back and forth, just
Mhm.
battling all night, and it was just fun camaraderie.
Created little rivalries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Black Ops was the first game that I really got into DLC too. Sure. I don't remember if you guys could remember, like back in those days, I think PlayStation, that's when I was still playing PlayStation because I got involved with Xbox because of when I met you guys. Because I had PlayStation 3 and then Xbox 360 for more of the social aspect. But PlayStation back then had a deal with Activision and whoever, Treyarch, I think it was the developer of Black Ops, where you would get the DLC a month early on PlayStation. And I remember just like loving the zombies maps, loving the additional multiplayer maps. Like I'd look forward to them all the time. And now I can't tell you the last time I paid for DLC.
Dude, when they would drop a new gun, I would just be researching it like Google, YouTube, what's the best build? Like,
Yeah.
what are the stats? I could not wait to try it. And even if it wasn't as good as the guns I used before, I'm like, I have to get this new. You know,
Yeah,
I just get like sucked in. I'm going to make it as good as the other ones. But now it's just like skins and lackluster maps.
I was going to say, I know we all have played Fortnite more from like the social aspect. I think we play it more like what they call a friend slot game. Like it's just jumping on and being stupid with your friends. But I think Fortnite has ruined certain games like that because now the Call of Duties of the world and others try to be Fortnite and they're not Fortnite. They need to go back to what made them great.
That's another thing. Like, it's not a game they could play now, but if it was a time a new game we could experience, was like that OG Warzone, like during COVID.
Oh, great time.
When we were just like in Verdansk.
Yeah.
Just going at it. It was still possible to win. You didn't have to know how to do all these crazy skills. You didn't have to be like a quick scope master or any of that. But like old Verdansk, I remember the strategy with like hug the field, hug the tree line, let them come to us. Like,
And then those
just worked out.
And those games gave you time to like socialize in the game too, without being like directly in the firefight all the time. We'd be talking, and then all of a sudden somebody would be like, "Hey, I got contact over here," and the conversation would stop for a little bit, and you take care of business, and you go back to the conversation what we were doing.
I feel like Halo 3 and the early Call of Duty games where you could do online, like the more you played, the better you got and the better you placed. But now, like, you could put the same amount of time now in, but there's like the way to get better is to unlock more stuff, which is just ungodly amounts. And so you can put the same amount of time that I put into Halo to be really good now. And like, there's still going to be, I don't know. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like the weapons levels and stuff like that being unlocked over, 10 prestiges or whatever, it's difficult.
I think that was one of the last games too, where like, you didn't have the shop where you could go and buy things to like progress you quicker or make your gun better or get all these different gadgets. Like it was a fair, equal playing ground, unless you were some nerd and like hacked the server or something. The stuff you unlocked for customization and like the Halo 3, especially online, was you earned it. Like you got so many kills doing this, or you got so many miles on a Warthog or something like that. You'd unlock this armor that you could customize. And that's like your pieces you earned, each individual piece of your armor. You didn't buy it. You didn't have to just keep on playing level after level. You had to do certain tasks over and over again to get that. I think that was so nice. And I think like World at War, which was like the third Call of Duty, is very early on. The second one maybe, like the World at War, which was like the first game to have zombies on it.
2008
was, I think, like the last Call of Duty game where you couldn't go in and have those transactions.
That's so crazy. It's that long ago. They've just been doing that ever since. Dude, shout out to College Football 26, right?
They just took away the
the players all started like, hey, we're withholding ourselves in the game, and then they took them away like a bit later.
From only one part of the game. It was like for franchise.
Okay, yeah.
They took it away from franchise because like you could just like pretty much bypass the whole game by paying for it.
I mean, like Ultimate Team type stuff, like that's built on microtransactions.
Right.
But yeah, some stuff just shouldn't have it.
Right.
Yeah. Richard, I want to give you the opportunity to answer this question. What's one game that you wish every single person would play?
So Alex said, we were talking about 2008 for World at War. My game came out in 2008 too. I know you two have played it. Mercenaries 2.
Oh, right.
On 360. It was an amazing game. There's so many things in that game that are now like concepts of big games. Like you could destroy actual buildings, which back then was unheard of in a game.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much GTA, one of the first versions of it that became the later GTAs, in my opinion.
We had Mercenaries 1 for PS2, I think at my house. And that was a really cool franchise. And then I was, how do you make this game better? And then seeing Mercenaries 2, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
you remember taking down the big skyscrapers, like that big building, you'd always be like, okay, they say you could take it down, but you have to do some work and you could actually bring that thing down.
What was the other game that was like fully destructible worlds? Like I just saw
Battlefield was, but I'll be talking something different.
No, it's It's like a space game.
Rampage World Tour.
Not that one. That was a classic though. I'll think of it, but
This looks dope.
But yeah,
I've never-
Mercenaries was like also like one of the first open worlds games, like where you could go around, do what you wanted, and then pick up a mission. It was a very start of a time of like that's how it introduced the later games. They kept on following that format. I feel like for like your Skyrims, your Red Dead, your GTA, stuff like that.
Open worlds really blew up around that time.
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
Bully, remember Bully?
Oh,
Yeah, that was a Rockstar game too.
Sweet.
That
Great
was-
game. Just pedaling from the school on your bike over to like the Cockable and you defeat people.
That was one game I wanted to play. My parents would never let
Yeah,
me buy
same.
it. They're like, no, this sounds terrible.
I don't know that
that
my
game.
parents would have stopped me from playing that, but I don't know why I stayed away from it for some reason.
Dude, speaking of parents not letting you, when I was younger, before we had consoles, we had our family computer.
Mhm.
I talked to my grandfather into buying us Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh man, he had no idea.
Probably
Like,
10, maybe 11. I was like, yeah, mom would not care. It's all good. And so he bought it for me.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom was like, who did this? And we had to take it back. But then we got Need for Speed Underground and Madden 2005.
nice.
And those two games were formative for me as well. Just Need for Speed Underground's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love that game.
We were big Hot Pursuit too. Fans. And then I almost put this game for this question, but
Go ahead
I
and say
feel like
it,
I feel like it's slept on. It's Midnight Club 3 Double Edition.
Mhm.
Dude, I used to
I never played it, but-
300C.
Yeah, Galaxy 300C. And I always had this burnt orange. I can't even remember the make and model, but I almost put that game for this answer. But I think it was just unique to me, and I don't know why I've always gravitated more towards race games, at least
Yeah.
skill-wise, and just like the customizations and the soundtrack. And it is kind of open world where there's all these races you could take if you wanted now or later,
Mhm.
and just rip around the city and drift and drag and boost. And
Do you still like race games? Like, is it like the newer ones today, or
yeah, but I like Forza.
What's the latest Forza game you played?
Everyone came with one of the Xbox.
The one that launched with Xbox One. Probably.
The idea of race games, but now they give you the line, and I don't know. I guess I was always better at just figuring it out on my own. But
Sure.
now they're like, I feel like they write in the game, if you drift off the line, you're not gonna run as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then another honorable mention was the first two Tony Hawk games for 64.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting some resurgence, hindsight love, but
They had some remakes recently.
Yeah.
For one and two, and then 3 and 4 got a remake as well. So
I would definitely throw an honorable mention in for me. Is I know probably most of you guys didn't like the World of Warcraft games.
yeah.
It was just that when the time when that first came out, I played it, which I was like a closet gamer of that game.
Yeah.
Because back then it was very frowned upon of you playing that game, but it was just a whole. It was
so nerdy.
yeah, it was a whole
really nerdy.
experience.
People were savages.
Yeah, but like the game itself was so complex.
yeah,
You could spend months and months playing that game and still not do the same thing over and over again at all.
that is one game. Like, I just wish I had I want to have the want to play it and start it and learn it, because like the people that were in it love it. And it's like they have so much fun, but yeah, I could never find the time or the will to actually do it. I don't know. I felt like RuneScape kind of fell in that too. I always tried to do it, but I could never get past the login. I could never remember my password. The first password.
Well, RuneScape was one of those games that was just like intentionally quirky and weird, and like you had to put so much time and energy and effort into making it what it is. And a
Yeah.
lot of people gravitated towards it. I didn't necessarily.
I wanted it.
I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to. But that was also when you would have to grind a lot to make it.
It
And
wasn't
I
a
didn't
skill
like
game. It was a very much a grind game.
100%. 100%. The one game that I was going to throw in here, and this is a game that I'm playing right now, actually, is a remastered version of it. Kingdom Hearts 1. Did you guys ever play Kingdom Hearts?
They remastered that?
Oh, not recently. This was probably like 10 years ago. I mean, it's not been recent, but there's Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remix. So it's basically the original versions, just updated graphics as well as updated like control schemes. But since you guys primarily haven't played this, the easiest pitch for it is, what if Final Fantasy and Disney platforms had a baby and made a game that's like a Japanese RPG? And it's really cool because it combines the nostalgic Disney IP of Aladdin and Alice in Wonderland and Tarzan, and it makes it fun and easy and accessible, and like actually has like an underlying story that frankly doesn't make too much sense, to be honest, but it's fun. Like
the characters relate to people too. Like
exactly. Yeah. Like you start as Sora, and he's on this like he's on this island, and he doesn't have any exposure outside of his own sphere. So he's always trying to like get out. Him and his friends are building a raft to get off the world and go explore. And then basically darkness comes over the island, the Heartless come in, and then it just expands this entire story where he gets chosen for a Keyblade, and he has to go lock down the island so that the Heartless can't take over these buildings, or not buildings, the worlds. And it's really cool. It's a long game, but I highly recommend anyone play it because I think it threads the needle on unique game mechanics for an RPG, but also recognizable characters, good story, excellent music. So that's the one that I would have picked.
That's definitely an underused aspect of new games is music. Like a true great soundtrack of the game can make me want to go back and play a game just so I can listen to the music on that game again while I'm just playing something.
SmackDown versus Raw, that game for me, like 2011, dude. Oh my God, bangers.
Yeah. I have a sad story on Kingdom Hearts.
Let's hear.
I had it, PS2, and I got stuck on a level.
Do you remember which level?
The only thing I can remember
1.1.
Yeah.
First level.
I couldn't make it past the side.
My brain was fully developed. And figure stuff out. But I was you were in a town at nighttime, and I want to say, I feel like a Mickey character was around, but I couldn't figure out what to do. And I tried it, couldn't figure it out, and I just like let it sit. And then one day at school, someone was like, "I really want Kingdom Hearts." I was like, "I got it." He's like, "Would you sell it to me?" I was like, "Sure." So I sold it for like $15 or something like that. And no other game have I ever done that to. Even the ones that I get stuck on or can't beat or didn't even play, I never sold them. So that's one I wish I could take that, because I do want to replay it.
Yeah. I definitely recommend going back and doing the 1.5, 2.5, because the first one, like the actual release, the original, is janky. It's really weird. Like the control scheme is weird and everything. So definitely recommend the re-updated ones.
Do you miss games like that they weren't complete hand holding the whole way through? Like you had to struggle sometimes to figure out like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? Like the original Minecraft, when that came out, you didn't have the crafting table or anything like that. You had to figure out and memorize what stuff went in the 9-panel thing to make it.
Yeah.
And I almost enjoyed that more because it was kind of a challenge. Like, okay, how do I figure this? And then we'd make like signs on the wall, like put this, and together, and you can make a bed or something.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon. Right. You didn't know where to fly or swim to cross to the next village or to get to the next gym.
Now
I had a book.
I was going to say, that's the book days.
The action book or whatever that came with it. Those were good.
Yeah.
Now games, you struggle for like maybe a minute, and then there's going to be a pop-up like, run this way. Yeah, run this way.
There's 800 YouTube videos too. They're like, this is how you beat X, Y, or Z. It's like, you don't even have to think.
And then I watch that and I go, oh, well, I beat the game.
I got it.
That's all me. I get the idea. I see where this is going.
Yeah. No, I love Kingdom Hearts. It's a great game. So if you ever get a chance to play it or whatever, let me know.
I need to figure out a way to get to it, because that's of a regret in the gaming world. That's one of them. Not saving that game to try at a later date when I was older.
For sure. One funny story too about Kingdom Hearts. So you guys remember the ice storm of like 2005, like the catastrophic ice storm where we were shut down with power for like 2 weeks at a time or whatever?
No, I forgot that. I just missed that.
You missed it.
That's traumatizing.
Well, the funny thing is, like, that was back in the PS2 era. And I remember we didn't have power for several days. And finally, my parents went and got a generator. And finally, they plugged in the generator and they only had access to like plug on a couple things. And I made sure I could plug in my PlayStation and my TV. And that's what I was playing back then was Kingdom Hearts. So I'll always remember that. Yeah.
Dylan's gonna plug in the fridge right now. I gotta play my PlayStation right now.
Well, priorities. But
Alex and we would trade, I think it was a Tony Hawk game on the SP. Pretty sure we played that a lot at Grandma's house from the fire during that ice storm. Classic.
The one other thing in terms of like a recommendation, I know I've talked about this game before, but Expedition 33 came out last year, which was the game of the year. And so I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but Richard, you called out like soundtrack specifically. Second to none. Like it's got the best soundtrack I've ever heard. And it's one of the, it's an indie game where they found this soundtrack artist on like SoundCloud or something like that. He was a nobody. Well, he's now somebody, but he was not known. Nobody had listened to his stuff before. There's nothing like on Spotify, YouTube, whatever for him. And the game director finally found him and just bangers. Like seriously amazing audio. So, and it's a great game too. So if you guys get a chance to play, definitely do it. Some of us have Game Pass. I think it's still on Game Pass right now. Great game. I want to pivot to question 3 that I had for you guys. And this is kind of like the deserted island question. But if you had to play a single console for the rest of your life outside of the mainstream consoles today, like PC, Xbox Series, PS5, all the latest and greatest, what is the console that you guys would pick to play? Zach, I'm going to pick on you this time.
Yeah, it'd be the PS2 for sure. It's the first one I bought with my own money. It was that slim silver one. I did know how to turn it off, so I wasn't unplugging it from the back.
Good for you, dude.
Thank you. But we still have like a stack of games that we play every time. It's in my grandma's house. And they have like old TVs. Like they have this really amazing house and then everything in it is just really old. But one of the pros is they still have like all the
AVI.
Yeah, like those hookups.
The connectors.
Yep. So I can just plug
ones?
the PlayStation.
The yellow, red, green.
Yeah.
Yellow, red, white.
So I can just plug my old PS2 from 2006 like right into their TV and it still works. So I'll just go to their house. I'll play Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which like, gosh, you can just do whatever you want. We would just like try to rack up stars. Like who can live longest of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Classic, dude. Hours and hours of fun. FIFA Street 2. I had so much fun with that. I played soccer since I was a kid, so that one was really fun. The SmackDown vs. Raw games I talked about before, soundtracks are unbelievable. It just transports you back to a better time. We have the Jackass game. It's like sometimes I just look back at some games and I'm like, I can't believe they made this into a game.
They would make anything into a game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But like there was another game that I thought about bringing up earlier, was Spyro. It's a little purple dragon running around.
There's
like
a new
collecting
Spyro coming
guns.
out next year.
Yeah, dude. It got me when they remastered for Xbox. I was that guy in the back. It was like, that was a lot of nostalgia for me too. Because that was a game I spent a lot of time on. I just remember being so mad trying to like glide perfectly over lava and just spending hours trying not to end up in it. It made me so mad. But once you hit it, it was really satisfying.
Yeah.
But I just think the PS2 and then the other game, we were talking about James Bond earlier, Nightfire.
Oh,
split screen multiplayer.
the best.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So like, yeah, we would always like enter in all the cheats, get all the gold guns and things like that and customize the weapon sets. We would think really carefully about who we were going to go against. Remember there's a character and name's Pussy Galore. Swear to God, Pussy Galore, Christmas Jones were dead. They were dead when I was playing, dude. We were always the red team, say cooler characters. So I'd be like odd jobs, like throw the hat. But, yeah, but it was dope. That was a fun game. My brothers now play that a lot. But final answer, PS2.
That's one game that I wish I could bring back because like I had those discs. I don't know where they're at now. I wonder if I traded them in when I went up to the PS3. And I'm kicking myself because I had such a huge, expansive PlayStation 2 library. And I still have my PlayStation 2. I still have like maybe 5 or 6 games still. And yeah, Nightfire was definitely one of the best. Al, you want to go next?
Mine's definitely going to be the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
again Halo 3, but then also kind of going back to what we talked about earlier is that's when like a lot of open world games started coming into it. So you add Grand Theft Auto, you had the first Red Dead Redemption, Saints Row. I don't know if any of you guys played Saints Row though.
I didn't, but
That was a great game as well. So but I mean outside of that too is a lot of, again, I think a lot of it's just nostalgia based for me, because it's definitely was the first console that like I ever really had to buy for myself, which is crazy because that thing was like $200 and some dollars.
yeah,
so you're
Pocket
buying
change
that.
now.
You tried to mow so many yards to get that.
yeah.
But yeah, like, and I really enjoy the open world games, or like those in the battle royal games I really do enjoy. And those just the introductions
Yeah,
that system.
yeah, they had on like the Kinect too. I can remember us playing the Kinect games on there where it's all motion detected, and like that was a great time to do that too because it was new, it was adventurous.
Yeah. I remember going. We would have like winter swim where we'd have like in the morning we'd have a practice and then we'd have afternoon practice. So we'd go to Richard's house in between and we'd play Connect. And I remember like the White River rafting that we would do all the
like
time.
dodgeball and all
And
stuff.
dodgeball, yeah.
Like we would spend hours doing that. I remember one of us like jammed our finger on the ceiling because we were jumping up trying to do something.
It's probably on the dodgeball one, like to block.
The track and field game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Neil, what about you? Consoles?
I think mine would be the PS2.
Yeah.
Because they turned everything into a game.
Talking like movie adaptation?
Yeah. Like we had the Simpsons on the Run. Like that game was so much fun. The Tony Hawk's were still spectacular. Decent amount of shooter games, racing games. I think that's what NFL Street came out on. And that game was sick.
NFL the first one.
And it was still in the video store rental era. So going in and
the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix. You can still go into the rental store and rent your game for the weekend.
And that's the things.
64 was close, but they've got a few more, I think, landmark games in the PS2, but just in terms of entertainment, I think the PS2 would get anybody.
I think it had the longest life cycle of like a console too, because it came out in like early 2000s, I want to say.
You guys remember going to like Walmart and breaking your neck staring up?
Oh yeah.
I would just like, we'd go, my mom would go get groceries and like I'm going to electronics, look at CDs, and I'd go play whatever was on those PlayStations.
And we were allowed to do that. I could have never dreamed of letting my kids just go to the electronics section right now, just hang out there for the next half hour.
Yeah. I used to go look at like the newest Now CD because that was like the first CD where you like essentially had like a playlist. Yeah. And see what songs were on there.
Yeah. Based on the quick Google search, PlayStation 2 came out in 2000 and PlayStation 3 came out in 2006. But if you guys remember, this was like when it was like $500 for a PS3.
Yeah.
And it was so expensive and nobody was getting it. So I think PlayStation 2 just had like an elongated life cycle because of that. Specifically. Richard, round us out. What console would you pick?
It's more of a the handheld than the console. But I'm going to go with the Game Boy. The Game Boy Color, like the SP, like those three I kind of all put together because they were kind of same time frame, playing the same games in there. You could put in most of them. Like I was in traveling sports a lot, or we'd go camp. My parents would go camping a lot. So like I couldn't bring my PlayStation or anything like that with me. So the Game Boys would be in the truck with me, or they'd be at swim meets, and you could play so many different games like Advanced Wars. I'd play that for hours.
Yeah, the whole dang team would play Advanced Wars.
Yeah, we'd play Pokemon, we'd play Zelda, we'd play all those games, and it was something to do between the hours of endless waiting time between events. But that was definitely the one that I would play for the rest of my life if I had the choice.
Yeah. And the SP, you could backplay color games.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I feel like our first foray into cross platform.
Right.
Backwards.
Back out of it.
The SP was the like.
It was.
If I had to take a single Game Boy, it'd be that. It's a little flip. It had a sweet design. It was very small.
The DS, I never had one, but like when you guys would play Advanced Wars on the DS, I was always like so jealous. not enough to actually try to get one, but
Yeah.
it was just cool to watch and see. And you guys have your cords linked together to
Yeah.
play. And
It was definitely those systems were designed for people that like you were on the move all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, did any of y'all have a PSP?
Yeah.
I did have a
Yes,
PSP.
Dude,
Loved
that's
it.
more than I thought. Yeah,
I had a white one.
I had a blue one. It came with like Madden 2004 or something like that. I rode
Mhm.
when Brett Favre was on. Or no, it must have been like 2009. But yeah, dude, I bought a PSP instead of a Nintendo DS. And like,
Yeah.
I really regret that now because of all the Pokemon games I missed during the DS era. And then PSP just fizzled out really hard, but then like came back as the Switch, which has been massively successful. I feel like they were just way ahead of their time on that.
It definitely it wasn't what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or what it could have been.
Yeah.
Part of my drive to be a better swimmer back then was my parents would always say like each year, like, okay, if you can make it to state for summer or for winter swim, like USA League, I'll buy you a new console. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So like every year I'm like, I'm pushing myself as hard as I can to make it to state that year. And I was like, there was many years in a row I'd be like, okay, I made it.
That's great.
PSP this year,
Yeah.
DS now, let's go.
Yeah.
Which is great motivation for them. I mean, if I make it, I make it. That's great. If not, oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a win-win for you. I mean, you
Yeah.
think it's a state and you get a console. That's a good deal. Yeah, I'd say just echoing what everybody said. I think for me, I would pick PlayStation 2, but there's nostalgia tied to every single console I've ever had. I'll say a quick funny stories on the PSP front. So I had a PSP, didn't have very many games for it, but I had my sister-in-law, her nephew or cousin or something also had a PSP. And she's like, Dylan, can you take a look at this console? It's not working. He doesn't understand what's going on. You remember like PSP had those like unique cartridges?
Yeah,
It was a
the
disc inside of like a
tiny
little
CDs,
holder. Idiot freaking took the disc out of that and he put it in the tray. And I'm like, here's your issue. And the funny thing is like the disc was literally like a CD and it had no scratches on it. I was like, how in the world did you
Broke
get it
of the
out?
cartridge.
Yeah, but there are no scratches on the disc. I was like, oh, kind of
Impressive work.
It reminds me of the first time I used a Keurig. So I was not a coffee guy. I
Yeah.
opened the little cup, poured the ground into a mug, and I was like, yep, kind of coffee
This looks
today.
good.
Now, it's the crazy thing. Were the PSP games more expensive than like PlayStation games back in the day?
I don't remember.
Because I remember getting
like,
PlayStation games, but like I remember PSP ones. I'm like, I don't want to spend that kind of money on that or something.
Yeah.
In games used to cost like $30. Like when did every game become $70?
I always remember it being 50.
I remember at least
It
50,
was
50 and
then
some
it was
change or
60,
something.
Then it was,
Well, GameStop used to be like elite too. You can go to GameStop, you spend 20 minutes searching through used bins.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think Game Boy games used to be cheaper.
Yeah, they were for sure. Yeah. I agree. Final question for you guys. What's your favorite gaming memory from our college days? So I'll actually start on this one because I think this one's funny. So Richard and I were the first ones in the house to adopt Xbox One. And Xbox One was bundled with the Xbox Connect. And so Richard and I were on the opposite side of the hallway. And I remember we would both come home from class and they were both on like the same wall, like the stairway wall,
Yeah.
our consoles were. And you would just say Xbox on and like they would turn on. And a lot of the time, like, and if I said it, Richard's would turn on, but mine wouldn't and vice versa. And also like we would be in the midst of playing something like serious and somebody would be like, Xbox off. And they'd be like, no.
Yeah.
It was just the best. And then the other supplemental story, like we talked last night, I think there's so much nostalgia for me tied up in Minecraft because we spent so many hours in it and the stuff that we built. I wish, like Richard said last night, I wish there was like a collection of all of the stuff that you've built in like one server. And looking back now, we should have been smarter, but
We were kids. We were young back then, and we never thought like we're gonna want to go back and look at this. Like,
yeah,
I mean, how
it's
many
almost like a museum.
like the first? I actually found our first. Like I think it was me, Neil, and Alex started a world way back in the day. It was one of the first worlds we ever met. Like it had like the 256 block or chunk radius, whatever.
Mhm.
And we built what we thought was an amazing roller coaster back then. And I went back, looked at, it, I'm like, man, this thing is dog shit.
not saying putting blame on you for being dumb shit, but
Wow, sounds like
the
a car.
fact that got built was because of if it was for sure wasn't there, nothing cool would have got built.
I definitely spent a lot of time investing in the Minecraft realms, or Minecraft, not realms, but like just Minecraft servers, learning how stuff worked.
You're the best Minecraft player I personally know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I spent
You're
way,
the best.
I spent way too many hours.
All I do is get sand for you.
You not seen my flower garden?
No, I spent way too many hours watching people on YouTube play Minecraft and learning stuff.
Yeah.
But is that something like, do you guys, side note, like, do you guys watch people like play video games? Like, there's certain games I want to play, but I know I'm not going to play, but like, oh, I'll go check out, watch somebody else play it to see what it's like.
Once it
Depends on
pops
what
up,
type of game it is. Like there's certain games, like have you guys ever heard of Until Dawn?
no.
It's I think it's a PlayStation exclusive, but it's basically this like horror game where people can choose the path in which you go down. So like, let's say you're running from a monster, your option is to jump off the cliff or to run into the woods. But maybe if you jump off the cliff, there's like an unknown like entity down there that's waiting to capture you. Or if you go into the woods, maybe you like fall in a bear trap or whatever. Like I always thought that was interesting to watch, but not play for myself. So I've watched that kind of thing, but not anything otherwise. I stay up on gaming news, but that's it.
I watch like the Hermitcraft server or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm watching it more for the game or just like what they're doing, like the way that people are responding or like how they interact with each other, just the funny things they do. It's more of
It's entertainment.
it's kind of like a talk show with a game. They're playing game on the side too.
Yeah, for sure.
I 2 notes. I really liked watching good Hexagon Fall Guy players.
Mm-hmm.
That was super satisfying watching them jump and like just beat everyone while not falling down levels.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really enjoyed in college getting home and just like laying on Richard's futon and watching all the Assassin's Creed. No, I was never going to be good enough to play him or beat him or have the time to do it, but I guess I had time to watch.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the energy.
And he says watch, but like it'd be
You know,
10 minutes
2
into it,
seconds.
then he'd be asleep on the
Yeah.
couch.
Just like now.
And then I'm trying to be quiet while I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a cool part of college is like we get home, we just all go hang out and watch somebody play something.
Yeah.
We just all just like lay on the floor, sit on the couch. Like didn't matter. It's just our way to hang out and chill.
Right.
Yeah.
I've
Well, like my favorite thing was like we'd be like on our way home from class, we'd be like, all right, 20 minutes, we'll get on and we'll play Grand Theft Auto.
Throw
So
Tina's in real quick.
everybody get home, you snap real quick, then you go to your bedroom and close the door. And like we're all 4 in the same house.
Yeah.
Mic'd up.
Yeah.
We're just in our bedrooms playing video games with each other.
Yeah.
And you would do that for hours
Mhm.
every night. And then you sometimes on a Friday night while you're in college, you're like, I'll be doing more fun things. This is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, runs with Rock Band where we're all in the same
Oh,
room.
Rock band's got to be my answer to this question, dude. Like Rock band I've wanted to play drums since I was like 10 years old,
Mhm.
and Rock band was like I consider that my first drum set. And I've been playing drums for like almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Like that was what got me going. It was what made me delusional enough to think I could play a real drum set. I was like, my right foot's going, I can figure out my left later.
Yeah.
So like we had so many nights just jamming, dude. Jamming. I remember your friend Joe would come over. We'd all just hang out. Like, dude, people are going to the bars and
We got it.
We're touring in Switzerland.
Y'all rich, dude.
Yeah, dude, that summer that Neil had, like, I think you were there until like the first session of classes ended. And then like the rest of the summer, it was just Neil and I.
Mm.
And we created a band and we called Y'all Rich Tig, which I think means like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think that's the farthest I ever got on Rock Band.
I mean, we've committed to the bit.
Yeah.
Hey, if you still got your Rock Band stuff, that stuff sells for a lot of money now too.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't even tell you what happened to that after college.
I sold
I took the drums.
I sold
That's
mine on
crazy.
eBay. I want to say I got like $800 for the whole set on eBay
Really?
because like they're worth a lot of money.
Dude, the thing that like Guitar Hero, they came out with like essentially a Rock Band version as well.
Mhm.
And their drum set had cymbals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Now you can wire in somehow your like a full electronic gear too.
Yeah. I think it's a
And
game
you've
called,
been able to do it for a while.
it's a game called Clone Hero. I have a buddy who, he has like an Alesis electric drum set and he can play essentially like on that Rock Band, like Waterfall. tons of songs. It's really cool.
Guitar Hero 3. Great game.
Yeah. I wonder
I
if
think that
there's
was my favorite.
wonder if there's any publishers that created Guitar Hero, like a Guitar Hero like before Guitar Hero, because Guitar Hero was revolutionary, I think. It basically took like what was cool about Dance Dance Revolution and made it different.
It made it cool.
It made it cool.
Yeah, it made it like open to people who didn't want to dance, but still like.
And you didn't need as much cardio to be able to do it.
Yeah. Don't you remember in Rock Band where we're all picking characters? I said Orion instead of Orion. I'll be Orion.
What?
Now, Guitar Hero's like been discontinued altogether, hasn't it?
I think so. Just doing a quick search before.
I think they could bring it back.
Because Aerosmith
have
released
some
one that like was more a realistic guitar too after Rock Band. Like there was a lot more strings, keys to it that you could almost learn to play.
Dude, the Rock Band guitar had the buttons up top and the buttons down later.
Yeah.
Solos slide down.
Oh,
yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. No, I remember playing like the super difficult games and just like trying to like do whatever it was
Yeah.
called, like lift your guitar.
Go to the
So you
star
could go to
power lesson.
special,
Yeah.
star power. Yeah, so you
Then
can
get
save
booed off
yourself.
stage.
Right. That was the worst. It was embarrassing.
As one of us is in the background just singing on just changing the tune of it.
Or you had the microphone and like you would like hit it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wanted to sing, to be honest. Like, no, nobody. We had like full teeth to get somebody to sing. It usually was fun.
You were good.
No, it was not.
When I do war.
Anybody else got any fun college stories we want to wrap up with before we call it for today?
I can always remember like we all went to Ball State and like me and Alex we got home from class, stuff like that. And then we'd play NCAA 14 and we would take Ball State. We were trying to get them like on the highest difficulty. Me and him would work together to get them to go to like beating Alabama, stuff like that. It took us how many years to get us to like a good school where we were constantly just destroying other people. Like we would do that daily just to get through games, seasons, stuff like that. That was definitely like a good old memory. Besides the ones you guys already said, you took most of the other ones I've got.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine was when we first moved in to the house. We didn't have internet. We don't have internet, but we could somehow land together and we played FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
Relevant for the summer, but I feel like we had a good couple day run of playing a bunch of FIFA. Is that 14, 16?
I think it was 14.
South America.
It was the South Africa one. I know that.
I think that was
the 10.
Was it?
Might have been.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been, right?
That was an incredible sports team. That's
Yeah.
got to be one of the better sports teams out there.
Because they haven't made a FIFA World Cup game since then, I don't think, have they?
I think there was one after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now they just lump them in with
The regular game.
yeah, whatever the soccer game is.
Yeah, because it wasn't easy either. Like it was a hard game to get to the challenge or the qualifying stages and get to the actual tournament. Besides the many nights of just playing zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Especially when we had Chance where he was actually like super good.
Like he would do all the Easter eggs and like we'd be like, okay, you guys just circle this zombie or crawler real quick. I gotta take a piss. We've been playing for 8 hours right now. I gotta go.
yeah, that first zombies game, I feel like kind of had a little bit of the Halo 3 effect when it first came out because you were back up all night playing zombies with the friends and in a different format. The Halo 3 and Call of Duty, types were different, but still first person shooters, still shooting the other team, but like the zombies, there's a little bit of strategy to it. And
There's a ton of strategy,
Yeah,
especially
just
if you could down a zombie,
different.
but
yeah,
Yeah.
Crawlers
kill
are
it.
really,
Yeah.
Go hit the box a few times, give a better chance.
the ray gun.
Yeah, get the ray gun, go to the pack-a-punch machine.
I can't remember the last time I played a zombie map either.
We played about a year ago,
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe. But it was like Black Ops.
Oh, Liberty
6.
Falls or something.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
I feel like that was probably the perfect blend of like old school, where it like running the circle
Yeah.
was the strategy, but there's more advanced things to do.
And there were still the Easter eggs in there you could
Yeah.
go do. Like we just and that was one of the first ones I remember that you would actually help you with the Easter eggs a little bit. Like it wasn't a true like find on your own Easter egg.
There'd be like stuff painted on the
Yeah,
ground.
like you kind of get a hint, like, okay, go to this next, and you can do this part.
It was fun too, like progressing through a round of zombies instead of trying to get as high as you can, like also completing the missions within the levels.
Like getting into the bank the first time we did that, getting to the safes is like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, finding where all the numbers are.
Yeah.
Like everybody could go like find a number and then somebody could be in the safe waiting. Like it's pretty sweet.
Well, they also introduced in zombies the exfil option. Like you could actually quote unquote beat it. And we always we would try to exfil and we forget to exfil and like, we just like die.
Oh, let's go 5 more levels.
Yeah. we can go another 5 levels. Let's do it.
Well, Liberty Falls, though, make you go to that rooftop. It's like they're coming
Dude.
from every angle.
Yeah. Unless you got a chopper gun.
Yeah, once we figured out the chopper gunners, it was like, okay, we got this. But then before that, we're like, oh, you can do perks in it? Or not perks, kill streaks?
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Thanks, guys, for being willing to do this podcast episode with me. I think this has been fun to revisit all the games we grew up with and also the nostalgic college days. For those still listening, thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, share with a friend, and then we'll catch you in next week's episode. Good job.